just a good time. It's not like diverse in any sense. It's actually pretty white. It's a very white book. Hello everyone, this is Fifi and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Fifi. Thank you for being here. Thank you for clicking on this video. I hope you stay for a while. If not, it's fine. It's fine. No pressure, no pressure. Nice to meet you either way. I just wanted to do a July wrap up because I read a lot. I would like to say a lot. In July, I read 8 books. It was a spicy month, and I am going to begin my first read with The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. If you didn't know, I did a reading vlog on The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I posted it last week. If you haven't seen it yet, maybe consider checking that out. The link is above there somewhere. The Song of Achilles is a reimagining or retelling of the story of Achilles, but we now see his heroic tale through the eyes of his dear friend turned lover, Patroclus. Achilles is the greatest hero of the Trojan War. He is the son of King Peleus and the sea nymph god Thetis, so that makes him a demigod, half human, half god. So if this is about the Iliad and Achilles in a story that we all know, that history knows, how is this different from what we already know? Basically, Madeline Miller explored the childhood of Achilles and Patroclus. So we see, since Patroclus is the narrator and it's in first person, we see Patroclus exiled by his father. He's very unloved and neglected. Exiled to Mycenae under the care of King Peleus, and where he meets Achilles, they develop this beautiful friendship, which of course turns into love. So we go through childhood, boyhood, adolescence, and eventually adulthood with these two. Patroclus's point of view definitely was kind of an really earnest narration of Achilles' story, because we see both the hero that he is, the greatest hero of the Trojan War, and the boy that Patroclus of course fell in love with, and all the hubris, all the pride, all the fault and flaws in the demigod that we all know and love, that is written in the history books. We see a different side of Achilles that we have not seen in any other reimagining or retelling. And I think more importantly, the devotion that these two have for each other is just so tender and honest, and I cannot recommend this enough to anybody who just wants to read about true love. And I call this, I have officially labeled this the greatest love story of all time. So again, if you want to hear more of my thoughts on this, please click the link above for the reading vlog that I posted last week on this. And yeah, the next book for July, and oh my god guys, this broke my brain. It is the Atlas 6 by Miss Olivie Blake herself. I think I'm going to be here a while because I have many things to say about this. Okay, so the Atlas 6 is about an elite and magical private organization called the Alexandrian Society, who call themselves the caretakers of lost knowledge from one of the greatest civilizations in history. So there is this thing called the Great Library of Alexandria, which is one of the most largest and influential libraries in history. The library has been known to have burned down multiple times, but one of the most famous culprits of its destruction was actually Julius Caesar back in the day. But no one really knows how it was destroyed fully or how it disappeared, like really. In the world of Atlas 6, the library was destroyed for a reason, and it was destroyed to save itself. The little known truth of the matter is that the Library of Alexandria burned down to save itself. It died to rise again in something less metaphorically phoenix-like and more strategically Sherlockian. It's saying that the library disappeared and burned down for a reason, because the rise of Julius Caesar and of nepotism, tyranny, and colonialism kind of put the knowledge inside that library in danger. As we all know, great knowledge is great power, and the more people know about things, the more people tend to take advantage of certain knowledges. Certain sciences and theories are made and used for mass destruction. So ever since then, the caretakers of the Library of Alexandria, who burned down, have been guarding the knowledge inside it, and every year they choose 6 of the most powerful Medeans. I don't know if it's pronounced Medians or Medeans, but who are essentially magicians. Those 6 are candidates to become members of the Alexandrian society. Of course, these 6 are chosen because of their intelligence and unique capabilities. They study and train their capabilities for a year inside the library, and at the end of the year, only 5 will be chosen to be initiated officially into the society. This broke my brain. It really did. It is so intricate and precise. The writing I kind of had a difficult time getting used to at first, especially in the first few chapters, because it's so specific. The magic system definitely is very scientific. There's also a bit of philosophy in there, and the writing style that Olivie Blake used I found to be a little bit convoluted at first because of the intricate and very equivocal words used. Also because I'm done with science. I really have no knowledge in science. It was my weakest subject as a student. I will not go back there, so maybe that's why. You know, maybe it actually isn't convoluted, it's just me. But anyway, as I got through the book, I realized how necessary the type of language and style she was using was to the story, because it is a dark academia book, and everything is about knowledge and education and proficiency and intelligence. And of course, you know, the writing has to reflect what the book is about. The main characters here are also very, very layered. I thought this was actually going to be a found family trope because, of course, it's called the Atlas 6, and what other book has the word 6? I thought I was also going to get a bunch of kids who will be forced to be together and work together and find a family in each other, but these people, they're not even children, they're post-college. And I really appreciate this because I don't think there's a lot of books with characters who represent the after-college spectrum, especially fantasy books. So I was so refreshed to find MCs that are almost in the same age range as me. These characters, since they are 6 of the most powerful and unique Medeans in the world, which is why they were chosen to be candidates as members of the Alexandrian society, they are so cutthroat, ambitious, and power-hungry people. They all think they're the best people in the room. They all have main character energy. No one in there is self-deprecating in any way. On the outside is just like out for each other's throats because they know that one will be eliminated at the end of the year. And it was just, wow, they hated each other 50, 60, 70% of the book, which I actually found really refreshing and engaging because there was a layer of mystery in every chapter. You didn't know the true intentions of each main character, and you were always on your toes 24/7. Also, did I mention this book has illustrations? Look at this! I mean, for every part, there are around 8 parts, and for every part there is an illustration of each character, and I just find that so sexy. I mean, guys, hello! One critique I have of it though is I was a bit put off by the revelation at the ending when we find out who the antagonist is. When that was revealed in the end, the intentions and why this person was doing whatever he was doing to make things, you know, to put conflict, I was a bit like, really? Is this it? But at the same time, the ending also was a big friggin' cliffhanger. Also at the same time, I don't know what Miss Olivie Blake is going to give us for book 2, so I want to put a pin on that and see what she has for us in book 2 before I decide what, like, I really think about it in general or as a whole, because we really need book 2 now. Like today. Highly recommend this. I would put this in the sci-fi category, to be completely honest. It has so many tropes. The characters are so gender fluid, it's queer, it's magical, it's new adult, and dark academia as well. I've never actually read a dark academia book ever, which is so surprising. Why? So now I want to get into more dark academia. If you guys have any recommendations for dark academia like this, please let me know in the comments below. And if you have not read this, please do.
Hi, editing Fifi here. I just wanted to quick shout out to Miss Olivie Blake. Something I forgot to mention about this book, and another reason why you should support it is self-published. Yes, she did not go to a publishing house. She published this herself. She made the cover. She illustrated it herself, and the illustrations were by an artist called Little Chimura. This is she. I know there's quite like a small judgment or whatever towards indie authors because they're not, you know, published professionally. I think that's crap, and I think you should support indie authors.
And by the way, this book was given to me by my dear friend Julia from the channel Julia Delgado. So I buddy read this with her, and if you would like to hear her thoughts about this, go check out her channel right now. Third book is The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I had no plans to read the off-campus series this month or anytime soon. The reason why I put this in my TBR is earlier in the year I read this fantastic Wolfstar Hockey AU fanfiction on Tumblr. If you know, you know. I became obsessed with everything hockey. I wanted to dive into the hockey world and read more books about boys playing hockey, and I found this on TikTok. These books aren't like a literary masterpiece. It's all very tropey, and we're here for a good time. The Deal, the first book, I actually really enjoyed. I gave it 3.5 stars. It is about a fake dating trope about a girl named Hannah and a hockey player named Garrett who go into this kind of like deal, as the title suggests, because Hannah likes this guy on campus who is a jock but thinks that she is never going to have a chance to date him. So Garrett, the hockey player, suggests that they go on this fake dating deal thing in exchange for Hannah giving him tutoring lessons. It was super cliche, it was super sexy and spicy. I think that's all you need to know about it because that's all you really will read it for. If you're not into smut, don't read this because it's both a romance and a smutty book. I really enjoyed this. It was just a good time. It's not like diverse in any sense. It's actually pretty white. It's a very white book. It was written in 2015, so I will say it contains quite a bit of politically incorrect and insensitive terms, especially with issues regarding rape and allusions to self-harm, like metaphors regarding self-harm. There were stuff there that I highlighted that I was like, The Mistake, also by Elle Kennedy. This is book 2. It is about Logan, who is also French. I think they're in the same, no, not I think, I know. They are in the same universe, so these guys are all friends, and they all go to the same university and all that. This is a trope I really love with regards to Wattpad stories. I really love series revolving around like men of the same friend group or women of the same friend group. This one is about Grace and Logan. They hook up one night and it doesn't go really well, and Grace kind of was disappointed with the whole thing, and she felt like she was being used by this jock hockey player, and she's not also really the most popular girl in school, so she feels really used, and this guy has been with a lot of other girls. The story revolves around Logan chasing her back and kind of working hard to get her back, and it was okay. I honestly didn't like it very much. I rated it 2.75 because there wasn't anything, it didn't make me feel a lot of emotions. Usually when a book is kind of meh, I still will rate it okay because it made me feel like a lot of emotions. It made me feel like happy or sad or what, but this didn't really evoke a lot of emotions, so it was okay. The third book is The Score. This time it is about the most playboy of playboys in the, hockey friend group and the hockey team, Dean. And he's the rich playboy who is smart but tries to come off as not because he has a reputation with the ladies and all that. But the girl here is called Allie. She is a drama major. She is the best friend of the girl in the first book, The Deal. Allie one day broke up with her longtime boyfriend Sean and went to wherever Dean lives because they're all like roommates and stuff. Her ex-boyfriend was stalking her and she needed a place to stay, so she stayed in that hockey house for like a weekend, and she accidentally one drunken night hooked up with Dean, the biggest playboy ever. And of course as cliche as all of this is, it was different and sparks flew and Dean wanted a second round and a third round and a fourth round. Eventually there were feelings and I loved it. I really enjoyed this one. Still won't rate it super high. I think I'll rate it around the same rating as The Deal, 3.5. I did super enjoy it. I love the dynamic of Dean and Allie as a couple. They're super unapologetic and confident with each other and with themselves. There wasn't a lot of like self-deprecating miscommunication plot arcs, which a lot of romances tend to fall into. If I would recommend books from this series, I would recommend the first and the third, because the second and the fourth, which I am about to talk about now, was bad. The fourth is called The Goal and I just finished it today and it was bad. I think it's safe to say it's even worse than The Mistake, the second one, the Logan story, because this one is about Tucker and a girl named Sabrina, and this has the surprise pregnancy trope. And as much as I am a very like maternal domestic person, I mean, I want to have kids in the future, but I kind of think it's very environmentally unfriendly right now, so maybe I won't have kids, but I do still have that maternal bone in my body. I did not like this. It was cute in some parts, but all in all, boring. It also fell into the miscommunication plot arc. So was not fond of that. I'm so over that miscom romance thing. Couples have more problems than just miscommunication and self-deprecation. So I don't know, authors need to explore more. Okay, the 7th book I read this month is one of my favorite books this month. I think this is my favorite. Okay, no, bold statement, but one of my favorite books this month is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. This is my first Christina Lauren book, and I have to say, I thought she was one person. But I didn't know if she was Christina and Lauren. I had no clue. So to Christina and Lauren, thank you for giving me this gem of a book. I cannot express to you how much I love this book because there are not enough words for me to say. The first point I want to make about this book is it doesn't have a complicated plot. It's not deep by any means. There are no like traumatic experiences. There are no like emotional, I don't know. It's not sad. It's not depressing. It's just so real. Oh God, I'm so sorry if the lighting keeps changing. The afternoon is having a hard time deciding what it wants to be today. So, The Unhoneymooners is about Olive and Ethan. Olive's twin gets married to Ethan's brother and the wedding happens. It's a fun time up until the reception where everybody in the whole venue gets sick because of some like fish whatever poisoning. And the only two people who did not get sick or did not, you know, catch the poisoning is, oh my god, it's too bright now, is of course Olive and Ethan. So now that everyone is sick and Olive and Ethan are the only two survivors, they have to take the honeymoon package that Olive's sister worked hard for, arm and leg, to book. Oh, by the way, this is an enemies to lovers trope. I forgot to mention that. I think that is the most important thing to mention. Olive and Ethan hate each other. The root of their hate relationship is, I don't know, it's not really clear even to the both of them. When they met, it was fine, but one day, Ethan just started acting cold towards Olive, and Olive assumed that it was because she was curvy and she was eating cheese curds. So she thinks that Ethan's hate for her stems in a place of fat shaming and dairy shaming. And then they go on this honeymoon trip together. And of course, things happen, feelings spark, and we're all happy. Okay, you might be wondering, what did I love about this book? It sounds like every enemies to lovers story known to mankind. The choice of the authors to have a main character who is surrounded by such a positive environment and such a loving family, who is open to healthy discussions about relationships, about career, is so refreshing and to me absolutely relatable. And like Olive, I exist in such a big family. I have so many relatives in my mother's side, so many relatives in my dad's side too, so I grew up in a really big family, and I really related to Olive in that aspect, where everyone is nosy, people want to know your business, you actually don't have that much privacy, and parents talk about you, your aunts want to know what you're up to. And seeing Olive tackle such mundane problems, she lost her job, is actually confused with where she stands in the path she wants to take, especially with the degree that she has. She doesn't know if she's really happy with what she's doing. She has insecurities about being a twin. I mean, she doesn't hate her life. She loves her sister so much. She has a very good relationship with her sister, but of course everyone has insecurities. And Olive's is, you know, she is the kind of unlucky sister next to her twin sister Amy, who is always the lucky one and, you know, is in a loving relationship and a stable job. She has this great dilemma of being good at her job but not loving it, and I found that so relatable. Also, we have a main character who loves herself. I mean, sure, she has insecurities, but all in all, she is very confident about who she is, and I think this came at such a telling an important point in my life, because I'm also in that point where I don't know where I want to go. The reason why I love this so much, because everything was just so personal and really touched things in my life currently. We're in different stages in our lives, and you know, this may not be as personal to you as it was to me, but I really highly recommend it. Personally, really loved it. And the last book I read in July, I just finished this the other day in fact, and it is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. So here we kind of have a really uptight and by-the-book caseworker, Linus Baker, who works for the department in charge of magical youth. So in this world, the magic system is kind of ambiguous. It wasn't really, you know, super emphasized, but what is clear is that there are magical people who exist in the world, but they are not integrated with the non-magic folk. So Linus has been working for the department in charge of magical youth for as long as he can remember. He is now 40. And he lives alone, has no partner, only a cat. Basically, his life is a routine. He's not really happy, but I guess he's content with the routine he set for himself. And one day, the department decides to assign him to a really highly classified case involving traveling to a distant island where an orphanage is set. And inside that orphanage are 6 of the most dangerous magical children in the world, under the care of a master of the orphanage called Arthur Parnassus. So Linus travels to Marsyas Island, meets the 6 children and of course Arthur, and we just fall in love. This was so magical. This is honestly, one of the reviews here in the book says that this book is close to perfect, and I 100% agree. I think if you love kids, you will really love this book, because this is the most endearing and so heartwarming, whimsical and tender story I've ever read about found family, love, acceptance, and magic. Right off the bat, at the beginning when they introduced the 6 kids to Linus, I was in love. I was hooked. I can't talk much about the book without spoiling it. I don't even think I can tell you what the kids can do or who they are, because that will just spoil the whole reading experience, especially for those who haven't read it. But I highly recommend.
Hi, editing Fifi here again to say that something I forgot about House on the Cerulean I didn't get to mention was the reason why I didn't give this a solid 5 stars is there was just something about the ending that made me like tilt my head a bit about it, because the whole concept of the book is so, well, it's not the most unique thing in the world. I mean, you know, it's magic, but it was so uniquely executed and it was written in such a refreshing way that I was expecting something different in the end, or something that was a bit, you know, newer. Not a bad nod to TJ Klune, because that was, I still loved it, you know. The bottom line is I loved it, but I was just a bit, like, there was a slight to that ending that I was just looking for something else. And yeah, I thought I just wanted to mention that. Cheers.
One thing about this though is I saw a post about a controversy about or surrounding this book, which is why I was very hesitant at first to pick up this book, because I knew it would be good, and I really am one of those people who, if it's a hype, I will 99% chance love it. So I really knew I would love this, but there was a controversy regarding the origin of the story, how TJ Klune wrote it, or where he got the idea from. I personally have not read much into it. I think it is based on like Canadian orphanages or concentration. I'm not really sure what the right term is. I will read into it. I just wanted to mention it in this video for those people who are kind of cautious about things surrounding authors and books. And I just wanted to say and make everyone aware that I am aware of that controversy. I will do my research about it. And as much as we would like to be ignorant about these kinds of issues, it's not right to just set aside prejudices and critiques, especially when it comes from historical facts and all that. So if anybody would like to educate me in the comments, please do. Please do so kindly. I've been reading quite a few discussions about it on Goodreads because of course there are people who are really against reading this as a whole. Some people say that you can separate the two, or you know, still enjoy it but having a critical mind about it. I mean, we've been through this before. People in the book community, people who read books in general, or we've loved books with controversial authors and controversial backstories, and you know, there's really no black and white into consuming things. And yeah, there is my July. Thank you so much for swinging by my channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you read in July. I would love to talk about them. If you have read these books as well and have the same feelings or not the same feelings, let's talk about it. I love talking about books. To those people who have been reaching out to me, thank you so much. Thank you for 600 subscribers. Fun. And yeah, again, thank you so much for clicking on this video and listening to me talk. If you're still here, and even to those who did not stay but still clicked on it, thank you. I will see you in my next video. Good afternoon, good night, good morning. Bye!